Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the 2025 Ram 1500 RHO. I've had a week to spend with it. Right now it's the weekend, Sunday. I have to turn it in tomorrow, but I wanted to go over a quick little video about my thoughts on this truck, spending a week with it. And right now I'm in the thumb of Michigan, so if you look at your hand, the thumb is right here. This is what we call the thumb in Michigan, so I'm up in the top of it. My wife and I are glamping at a little place called Postcard Cottages. Postcard Cottages is actually owned by Marriott now, but it's a cool little place that has like tiny homes, tiny cottages that you can rent for the night. And we just wanted to get away from the kids for the weekend, and we came up here, and of course it's been raining and snowing and doing a whole bunch of different stuff. So the first thing I'll have to say about this truck is it is hard to keep clean. I've washed this truck 6 times in the last week and I haven't been able to keep it clean at all, just because the roads are dirty and stuff here. But no matter what, it's an off-road truck. It looks good dirty. But overall, if you like the TRX, like the styling of the TRX, you're gonna love this truck. It's got the same kind of body style, same wide body kit, kind of a little different with the front end because it's a new for 2025. You got a bigger grille, new LED headlamps, which I absolutely love. I think it looks better than the TRX. Same hood with the clearance lights. You do have this new Hurricane RHO badging, high output badging, because unlike the TRX, it doesn't have a Hellcat under the hood. Instead, you have a 3-liter twin turbo Hurricane high output inline 6. And what you get with that is 540 horsepower, 521 foot-pounds of torque. And everybody's complaining that, you know, this is a replacement for the TRX. I can't say enough, this is not a replacement for the TRX. This is, think of it as a more budget-friendly TRX. Even though the TRX started out the same price, we know it got kind of crazy at the end. This is a more budget-friendly TRX that is focused on going against the Ford F-150 Raptor, not the Raptor R. So if you compare this to the Raptor, the normal Raptor, this thing kills it pretty much on paper and should kill it in any kind of performance attribute. But overall, it's been a good truck. You know, the wide body kit on it looks great. You do have these 18-inch beadlock wheels that are optional. Now, Ram always sends fully loaded trucks whenever we ask to review them. While the massaging seats are nice, it does have the level 1 package, which adds an extra 10 grand to it. So this truck starts out at $69,995 without destination. And then if you add the 10 grand, I mean, with the few options it does have, meaning like a few options that are available on the RHO, it loads it up to be a luxury truck. And this one's $86,000. So yes, it is pricey, but overall, very comfortable, very luxurious for being an off-road truck. But a lot of people won't like it simply because it's not a Hemi. It doesn't sound like a Hemi at all. The inline 6 is not a great sounding engine. I will say that. It sounds kind of like a buzzsaw. It kind of sounds like a V10 a little bit. It's got a different tone, but driving wise, it's a different beast. I have not been disappointed with the power of this thing. Fuel economy wise, better than a TRX, but not as what I would thought it would be compared to a 5.7 Hemi. It's about par with a Hemi, considering this is an off-road package. But I'm averaging about 14.5 miles per gallon. So, not too good, not too bad, considering it's an off-road truck with 13 inches of travel. But on roads like this, see the hills and whatnot, and kind of washboard roads, this thing is awesome. If you live off-road, on a dirt road or anything, this is the ultimate truck. Again, just hard to keep clean, but overall, great looking truck. Power, it's nice. I don't know why people are complaining about the inline 6. I mean, yeah, it's an inline 6, it's different, but if you compare it to a 5.7 Hemi, way better. This HO actually is more comparable with the 392 Hemi, the 6.4. Not the truck engine, but the actual Apache SRT engine. So this replaces like what they call as a Scat Pack engine, but 540 horsepower, and of course it's on premium fuel. That's the only bad thing, but nonetheless, I mean, this thing gets up and goes. Has no problem scooting up and down the road. So let's get inside. We're gonna go pick up breakfast, and I'll talk a little bit more about my experience with this thing. Really good experience with this truck. Like I said, power-wise, it gets up and goes. You know, the Hurricane's no joke. It's a great engine. It just, being in an off-road truck, don't expect the greatest fuel economy. I averaged about 14.5 with it. I did a 100-mile loop this week, which you can see the video here on the channel. I averaged 14.28 with mixed driving. We're talking 100 miles of stop and go, highway driving, 55-mile-an-hour driving, a little bit of everything. So, yeah, it's not a huge, you know, obviously fuel-efficient pickup. It just isn't. You got massive tires, big, bulky suspension, but it's a great overall actual daily driver. I was really impressed at how good a daily driver this thing can be. Driving the TRX, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. But you're constantly getting single-digit fuel economy, and after a while it gets kind of be a headache, because even though you have a 34-gallon tank on board, you're sucking down the fuel left and right, and you're constantly at fuel stops. Here, it's not as bad, but could it be better? I thought it would be, considering what the 5.7 had gotten in the past, but not too bad. Overall, super smooth transmission, super smooth powertrain. I'll tell you what, the one thing I can say about the inline six compared to the Hemi is when you come to a stop with the Hemi, you basically get a little bit of not rattle, but you get a little bit of like, kind of like bounce in the engine a little bit. It has like this little bit of like stutter. It's kind of weird. All of my Hemi cars have had it. My Chargers, Durangos, my Ram 1500. It kind of like chops a little bit when it's at idle. Because it's an inline six and they're known for their smoothness, this thing is really, really smooth. You don't have any of that. Inside, the Hurricane engine, super smooth. The cabin's super quiet in this thing, considering it's an off-road truck. You do hear the tires and stuff a little bit. You do hear a lot of road noise from, like, you know, just air getting underneath the truck. But overall, great ride. We're on really harsh roads right now, bouncing around with big potholes on a state highway. That's how Michigan is. We have really terrible roads. This is like a perfect truck to drive as a daily driver on these kind of roads. We're just entering Columbiaville, Michigan right now. And again, this truck gets a lot of looks. If you love the looks of the TRX and you're looking for a more civilized daily driver, this is your truck. I personally think I would rather own this to be a daily driver than the TRX. I find that this truck is just more comfortable to drive because of the powertrain. You're not going to, like I said, to fuel stops as much, and it's got plenty of balls. So again, I don't know why people complain about it. They really have to get out and experience the Hurricane engine. Is there issues with it? Yeah, there was thermostat issues at first. You know, the one thing I don't like about it personally is I like actually, you know, there's no engine dipstick, so I actually like checking my oil, making sure that, you know, it's good, topped off and everything. This you can't. You got to rely on the computer. So that's one aspect I'm not a fan of. Other than that, I really think it's a great package. I can't say that enough. One thing I will say is with the level 1 package, you do get all the extra amenities. You get a 14.5-inch Uconnect screen, which personally I find useless. I find that the 14.5-inch Uconnect screen is technically the same size as the 12-inch. It's just now they give you a little more room on the screen and they get rid of the physical buttons. Instead, now you have digital buttons, which I hate. So to me, the 14.5-inch screen is useless. You get the passenger screen, the 10.5-inch passenger screen, which is cool, but it's not a necessity. It really doesn't do a lot for the passenger, other than you can plug an HDMI cable into it and do a couple things, but to me, you can do without it. Level 1 package also includes these massaging seats, which are phenomenal. If you're going to spend the extra money, if you get the level 1 package, you do get the massaging seats, and I highly recommend them. Driving, especially long distances, it feels awesome on your back, especially on cold days like today, because now it's, you know, 26 degrees out. I got the heat on it. Oh, it feels great. It makes me not want to get out sometimes. Well, like right now, we're gonna fill up with gas, and the only thing bad about the HO is they recommend premium, and we know premium fuel's been kind of high lately, so hopefully it'll come down, but it's not too bad. The problem is when you have a 34-gallon tank and it doesn't get the greatest fuel economy, you go through fuel still quite a bit. So I can't say enough about this truck, how much I actually like driving it. I've been really impressed with the RHO overall. For the week, I've put about 500 miles on this thing. So I've gotten to know the Hurricane pretty well, driving in the city, driving on the highway and stuff. And overall, I love this engine. I think it's great. I think it's a great replacement for the 6.4. I can't actually wait to drive it in the Charger. The Charger's gonna be fun. It's gonna have 10 more horsepower, but it's gonna be a lot lighter package. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. But overall, what this package has shown me is, as a daily driver pickup, the RHO is a lot of fun. It might not be the TRX. It might be more of a civilized TRX in my opinion, but I really do enjoy driving it. I do think that the pricing is kind of expensive. You know, this truck's $86,000 the way it sits, and it doesn't even have a panoramic sunroof and all that, but it does have all the luxury features that you could ever want in a truck. To me, if it was me buying it, which again, it's made me change my mind about what I think about the RHO, I would obviously pick the base model. I don't need the passenger screen. I don't need the 14.5-inch screen and loose physical buttons. I honestly would just buy the base model truck. Yeah, you don't get the massaging seats and stuff, but it's plenty of a luxury truck there. You don't have to, you know, feel like you're left out of getting all the options. And one thing I will tell you that's kind of strange about this, for this being an $86,000 truck, it does not have the push to lock buttons on the door handles. You do have to pull the key out and hit lock. I don't understand why. It's just one of those weird options that isn't there that you would expect in a truck that cost $86,000. But again, comfortable, perfect daily driver truck. Fuel economy, it's not the greatest, but you know, it's an off-road pickup. And driving on roads that have terrible, you know, grading and stuff, this thing has no problem whatsoever hitting potholes, speed bumps, and just going over them like nothing. So I've been super impressed with its handling. It does find itself kind of hard to steer sometimes when you're trying to cut corners because of how big the tires are. But I mean, on the highway, city driving, all that, for being such a big off-road truck, it drives really, really nice. So if you're in the market for one of these trucks, I would suggest, again, looking at the base model truck. Save yourself some cash. I don't think you need all the options for what the base model truck has. And honestly, if you're looking at the RHO, the Rebel's not much cheaper. The Rebel starts out at $64,000. You can get this for $69,000. So pay the extra $5,000, get the wide body kit, get the massive suspension on it, and have some fun. Again, this truck is awesome off-road. There's nothing to complain about. If you're looking at something that will be a Raptor competitor, this is it. This is your truck. This isn't a Raptor R Fighter. It's not a TRX successor. I can't say that enough. And Ram has actually teased that this truck will be just the start. They are going to make a high performance version of this truck. That will be the TRX version. You can go on Mopar Insiders or 5th Gen Rams. We've talked about it. The old Ram marketing director actually stated it. He kind of hit it in the first commercial of this truck. So keep that in mind. There's plenty to come. This isn't the only thing. I just think people are missing out on, you know, the possibilities of thinking, hey, Ram's not going to do something else besides this truck. This is just a start. I think there's a lot more to come, and it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So make sure to hit subscribe. Check out Mopar Insiders. And again, don't think the RHO is a TRX replacement. It's its own thing. I really think people need to look at it that way. You know, it might be the same price as the TRX was, but we've seen trucks go up, way up in price, and hopefully Ram will fix that. Hopefully we'll see this truck drop in price. I think it would be actually better if it was $5,000 cheaper to start out with, but hopefully we'll see Tim Kuniskis get aggressive with the pricing and make this thing a little more affordable. But overall, it's a great pickup. I can't say that enough. I would actually consider this truck if it was a little cheaper, or if the incentives are good on it. I would really consider buying this thing. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.